palace gates just shook. King Charles made a move so explosive, so unprecedented, that even the most seasoned royal watchers are still reeling. Prince Andrew, a man born into royalty, a blood prince who carried that title his entire life, just had it ripped away, gone, erased. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is what he answers to now, stripped of the princely styling that defined him since birth. The announcement came swift and brutal. Published in the London Gazette, issue 64,889, October 30th, 2025. No warning, no negotiation, just done. But here's where it gets absolutely chilling for Harry and Meghan. They found out the exact same moment you did. Palace insiders are whispering that the Sussexes were blindsided, completely in the dark until the news hit the public. No courtesy call, no heads up from Charles, nothing. And the reaction in Montecito? Pure unfiltered panic. Sources close to the situation reveal Harry's stomach dropped the second he saw the headlines. His hands reportedly shook as he scrolled through article after article, each one confirming his worst fear. Titles aren't untouchable anymore. For years, Harry played it cool in public, dismissing the importance of royal styling like it meant nothing to him. Remember all those interviews where he claimed he just wanted privacy, that he didn't care about the institution? Well, watching Andrew get demoted in real time shattered that illusion. Behind closed doors, insiders say Harry is spiraling. The dread set in fast and hasn't let up since. He thought blood meant protection. He thought being the son of a king made him immune. He was wrong. And Meghan? She's rattled in a completely different way. This isn't about sentiment for her, it's business. The prince and princess titles attached to their names, attached to their children, are woven into every deal, every negotiation, every Hollywood pitch they make. One LA strategist put it bluntly, a title isn't just a name, it's leverage, it's currency, it's what separates them from every other celebrity trying to make it in Tinseltown. Without those titles, the Sussex brand collapses, the cachet disappears, the invitations dry up. Everything they've built since leaving the royal family hinges on that connection, and now it's hanging by a thread. Royal experts are sounding the alarm. Once a palace is willing to demote blood princes, everyone should be nervous. The rules just changed, the line just got crossed. And if King Charles can strip Andrew, a man who was born into royalty and never left, what's stopping him from doing the same to Harry? What's stopping William, who insiders say actually ordered this move, from finishing the job when he takes the throne? Absolutely nothing. The Sussexes just became the next targets, and they know it, but that was just the beginning. Harry's world tilted the second he read those headlines. Sources say the color drained from his face, his breath caught. That sinking, gut-wrenching feeling of watching your safety net dissolve in real time hit him like a freight train. For someone who spent years publicly downplaying the monarchy, dismissing titles as archaic and meaningless, this moment exposed the truth. Deep down, Harry believed his royal blood made him untouchable. He thought being the son of King Charles, the brother of the future king, meant certain protections were guaranteed. No one could take what he was born with. That illusion just shattered into a million pieces. Well-placed insiders claim Harry immediately started spiraling. He paced. He obsessively refreshed news sites. He called contacts in the UK, trying to get clarity, trying to understand how far this could go. Every person he reached out to gave him the same chilling response. If they did it to Andrew, they can do it to you. The precedent is set. The door is open. There's nothing stopping them now. That realization sent Harry into a tailspin he's still stuck in. Friends say he's barely sleeping, constantly checking his phone, waiting for the other shoe to drop. What makes this even more devastating for Harry is the years he spent convincing himself he didn't need the institution. All those interviews, all those carefully crafted statements about wanting freedom, about rejecting the constraints of royal life. He told Oprah he felt trapped. He told Dax Shepard on that podcast that the royal family was like being in a zoo. He wrote an entire memoir painting himself as the victim who escaped. But here's the uncomfortable truth that's now staring him in the face. He never truly let go. He held on to those titles like a lifeline, using them to prop up his new life in California, to open doors in Hollywood, to maintain relevance in a world that might otherwise forget him. Palace insiders whisper that Harry's panic isn't just about losing the Duke of Sussex title. It's deeper than that. It's about identity. He spent his entire life being Prince Harry. Every introduction, every headline, every bit of recognition tied back to those three letters, HRH. His Royal Highness. Even after stepping back, even after moving to America, that designation lingered in the background. It gave him weight, it gave him importance. Without it, who is he? Just another celebrity in Los Angeles, trying to stay relevant. Just another guy with a podcast and a Netflix deal that might not get renewed. The fear is eating him alive. Sources say Meghan has caught him staring off into space, lost in thought, replaying every decision that led them here. The Oprah interview, the Netflix docuseries, the memoir, every public attack on the institution now feels like ammunition William can use to justify stripping their titles completely. And the worst part? Harry knows he handed them the perfect excuse. Meghan's panic looks completely different from Harry's, and that's what makes it so telling. While Harry spirals emotionally, lost in identity crisis and royal bloodline anxiety, Meghan is running cold, hard calculations. She's mapping out every domino that falls if those titles disappear. And the picture she's seeing? Absolutely catastrophic. Sources close to the Sussexes reveal Meghan has been in full crisis mode, making frantic calls to her team, demanding answers, demanding strategy, demanding someone tell her how to protect what they've built. Because make no mistake, everything they have right now is built on a foundation that's suddenly crumbling. The prince and princess titles aren't just fancy names to Meghan. They're the entire brand. They're what separates Harry and Meghan from every other Hollywood couple trying to secure deals and maintain relevance. One Los Angeles strategist who works adjacent to the entertainment industry put it bluntly, "In this town, a title is currency. It's what gets you in the room. It's what makes executives take your call. Strip that away, and you're just another celebrity trying to pitch projects in an oversaturated market." The Sussex brand without the royal connection is just two people with a podcast that underperformed and a Netflix deal that barely made waves. Think about every negotiation Meghan has done since leaving the UK. The Spotify deal, the Netflix contract, the speaking engagements that command six-figure fees. Every single one hinged on the royal connection. Event organizers wanted the Duchess of Sussex on stage, not Meghan Markle the actress. Streaming platforms wanted exclusive access to royals who could pull audiences based on proximity to the crown. Take that proximity away, and what leverage did they have left? Insiders say Meghan is acutely aware of this. She's watched other celebrities fade into irrelevance. She knows how quickly the industry moves on. But here's where it gets even more calculated. Meghan isn't just worried about their own titles. She's terrified about Archie and Lilibet. Those prince and princess designations for the children weren't just symbolic gestures. They were insurance policies for the future. They were the guarantee that no matter what happened, her kids would carry royal status into adulthood, opening doors, creating opportunities, maintaining a connection to one of the most powerful families on earth. If Harry loses his title, palace whispers suggest the children's titles could follow, and that would be Meghan's absolute worst nightmare. Sources reveal Meghan has been gaming out every possible scenario. If the titles go, does Netflix renew? Do speaking fees drop? Do the invitations to elite events dry up? Does the entire carefully constructed post-royal life collapse? The answer to all of those questions terrifies her. Because unlike Harry, who grew up with privilege and safety nets, Meghan clawed her way up from nothing. She knows what it's like to be overlooked, to be dismissed, to fight for every scrap of recognition. She's not going back to that. Little did she know, the nightmare was only just beginning. The Andrew situation isn't just palace drama. It's a seismic shift in how the monarchy operates, and everyone paying attention knows it. For decades, centuries even, there was an unspoken rule. Blood princes were untouchable. You could strip working titles, you could remove patronages, you could even exile someone from public life. But the title of prince? That was considered sacred, birthright, something that couldn't be touched no matter how badly someone messed up. Andrew just proved that rule no longer exists. King Charles issued a command, published it in the London Gazette, and boom, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor became a regular citizen living in a cottage. The precedent is now set, and it changes absolutely everything. Royal experts are sounding alarm bells. Former publicists to the royal family, historians who have studied the monarchy for decades, they're all saying the same thing. Once this line gets crossed, no one is safe. A former publicist to Princess Michael of Kent went on record saying that once a palace is willing to demote blood princes, everyone in that family should be very, very nervous. This isn't about Andrew anymore. This is about establishing that the monarch has ultimate power over titles, and if you step out of line, if you become a liability, if you embarrass the institution, those titles can vanish overnight. Sources close to the palace reveal something even more chilling. This wasn't a decision King Charles made lightly or happily. Insiders claim Charles was actually resistant to stripping Andrew's title. He's protective of his siblings, he values family loyalty, and he reportedly worried about the optics of such a harsh move. So if Charles didn't want to do this, who pushed him? Word on the street is that Prince William applied pressure behind the scenes. The future king, the man who will soon have complete control over the monarchy, reportedly told his father that Andrew needed to be dealt with decisively. William wanted a clear message sent: mess with the institution, and there are consequences. Real consequences that can't be walked back. This is the part that should terrify Harry and Meghan. William isn't sentimental. He's not interested in family drama or protecting people who damage the crown. He's focused on modernizing, streamlining, and protecting the monarchy's reputation at all costs. If he was willing to push for Andrew's demotion, a man who never publicly attacked the family, imagine what he's willing to do to Harry. the brother who went on Oprah and accused the family of racism, the brother who wrote a memoir detailing private conversations and embarrassing moments, the brother who partnered with Netflix to air the family's dirty laundry for profit. Palace insiders whisper that William has been keeping a list. Every interview, every podcast appearance, every veiled criticism, and when he takes the throne, that list becomes justification. Andrew's title strip just gave William the blueprint he needed, and Harry handed him the matches to burn it all down. Prince William isn't waiting for his father to die to start running things. Behind the scenes, insiders claim the future king has already begun consolidating power, making moves, positioning himself as the real authority in the family. And the Andrew title strip, that was his opening act. Sources close to Buckingham Palace reveal that William personally ordered the formal process to remove Andrew's princely designation. Not suggested, not recommended, ordered. King Charles signed off on it, but the decision came from William. The Prince of Wales looked at the situation, decided Andrew had become too much of a liability, and made the call to cut him loose completely. This is classic William, cold, calculated, ruthless when necessary. He's not his father. Charles has always been more emotional, more conflicted, more likely to waffle on difficult decisions because of family sentiment. William doesn't have that problem. He's a strategist. He thinks 10 moves ahead, and right now he's thinking about the future of the monarchy under his rule. A streamlined institution, a smaller, tighter circle of working royals. No deadweight, no scandals, no one profiting off the family name while contributing nothing back. Andrew fit that description, and so do Harry and Meghan. Palace insiders whisper that William has been preparing for this moment for years. Ever since Harry and Meghan left, ever since the Oprah interview, ever since the Netflix series and the memoir, William has been quietly planning how to handle the Sussex problem. He can't do anything while his father is king. Charles still has a soft spot for Harry, still hopes for reconciliation, still resists taking the harshest steps, but when William ascends, all bets are off. Sources say William has made it clear to those in his inner circle that once he's king, the Sussex titles will be the first thing to go. Not maybe, not possibly, definitely. Reports are surfacing that King Charles's health isn't what it should be. He's already scaled back appearances. He's delegating more responsibilities to William. Transition planning is happening faster than expected, and everyone close to the situation knows what that means. William could be king sooner than anyone anticipated. Some insiders believe it could happen within the next few years, possibly sooner depending on Charles's condition. And the moment William sits on that throne, Harry and Meghan's royal protections evaporate. The timing of Andrew's title strip is no coincidence. William is setting the stage. He's establishing precedent. He's showing the world that titles can and will be removed when someone becomes a problem. And he's sending a very clear message to Harry. You think you're safe in California? You think distance protects you? Think again. When William takes control, geography won't matter. Blood won't matter. The only thing that will matter is whether you're an asset or a liability to the crown. Right now, Harry and Meghan are the biggest liability the monarchy has, but the nightmare was about to get even worse. William isn't just making random moves. Every decision is calculated. Every action has multiple layers of strategy behind it. And stripping Andrew's title right now, the timing is absolutely perfect for what comes next. Royal watchers with inside connections are pointing out something crucial. With Andrew stripped and demoted, William now has the perfect excuse to tighten up all royal titles across the board. He can frame it as modernization, as protecting the integrity of the institution, as making sure only working royals who actively serve the crown get to keep their prestigious designations. And guess who that description perfectly excludes? Harry and Meghan. The beauty of this move, from William's perspective, is that it's not personal, at least not on paper. He doesn't have to stand up and say we're stripping Harry's title because he betrayed the family. He doesn't have to make it about the Oprah interview or the memoir or the Netflix series. Instead, he can position it as part of a larger restructuring initiative. We're reviewing all titles. We're making sure everyone who carries royal designations actually represents royal values and serves the institution. Harry and Meghan left. They stepped back from royal duties. They moved to another country. They explicitly said they wanted to be independent. So by their own logic, by their own choices, they don't fit the criteria for keeping titles. William can strip them and make it look like common sense policy, not family vengeance. Palace insiders claim this has been William's plan all along. Wait for the right moment. Wait for a situation that lets him establish precedent without looking vindictive. Andrew handed him that moment on a silver platter. The disgraced prince's behavior became so problematic, his association with scandal so damaging, that removing his title looked like the only reasonable choice. Now that door is open. Now the mechanism exists. Now William can point to Andrew and say, see, we've already done this once. We can do it again. It's policy now, not punishment. Sources close to the Wales household reveal that William has been consulting with legal experts and constitutional advisors for months. He's been asking questions. How do you remove titles? What's the process? What's the precedent? Can it be challenged? The answers he got back were clear. The monarch has almost unlimited power over royal titles and styles. A simple letter's patent, a published notice in the London Gazette, and it's done. No parliament approval needed, no lengthy legal battle, just the king's signature and a public announcement. William learned that lesson well, and he's ready to use it. The excuse is built in, the mechanism is established, the precedent is set. All William needs now is the crown on his head. And with King Charles's health reportedly declining, with transition planning accelerating, with more responsibilities being quietly shifted to William every month, that moment is coming fast. Harry and Meghan can feel it approaching like a freight train they can't stop, and they have absolutely no way to protect themselves. Here's where it gets absolutely heartbreaking for Meghan. She can handle losing her own Duchess title if she has to. She's survived worse. She's been an actress scraping for roles, a briefcase girl on a game show, someone Hollywood barely noticed. She clawed her way up once. She could theoretically do it again. But the children, Archie and Lilibet, their prince and princess titles? That's where Meghan's maternal instincts collide with her strategic mind, and the result is pure terror, because those titles aren't just about status. They're about opportunity, they're about protection, they're about guaranteeing her kids never have to struggle the way she did. And watching them slip away feels like watching her children's entire futures being rewritten. Sources close to the Sussexes reveal that Meghan fought hard for those titles. Remember the controversy when Archie was born? The confusion about why he wasn't automatically a prince? Meghan went on Oprah and made it a race issue, suggesting the family didn't want her son to have a title because of his heritage. The reality was more complicated. Royal protocol from 1917 dictated that only certain grandchildren of the monarch automatically got prince or princess designations. When Charles became king, that changed. Archie and Lilibet suddenly qualified, and Meghan made sure those titles got formalized immediately. She pushed for it. She demanded it, because she understood what they represented. But palace insiders are now whispering something chilling. If Harry loses his Duke of Sussex title, there's legal precedent suggesting the children's titles could follow. They derive their royal status from their father's position in the line of succession. Strip Harry's formal connection to the institution, and suddenly Archie and Lilibet are just the kids of a former royal, not royals themselves. Constitutional experts who specialize in peerage law have quietly confirmed this. It's not automatic, but it's possible, and William knows it. Sources suggest he's already consulted on whether removing Harry's title would affect the grandchildren. The answer he got back? It could, if structured correctly. Meghan is reportedly having nightmares about this exact scenario. Friends say she wakes up in the middle of the night, anxious and spiraling, imagining a future where her children are stripped of the one thing that makes them special in the public eye, where they grow up as ordinary kids in Montecito instead of royalty in exile, where the doors that would have opened for them stay closed, where the prestige, the recognition, the automatic respect that comes with being Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet just evaporates. She worked too hard, sacrificed too much, endured too many attacks to let that happen. But here's the cruel reality Meghan is facing. She has no control over this. None. The decision sits entirely with the monarchy, with William, with people who have every reason to want the Sussex connection severed completely. And no amount of PR strategy, no carefully worded statements, no Hollywood connections can change that. The power sits an ocean away, and it's slipping through her fingers. The Montecito mansion that was supposed to represent freedom and peace has turned into a war room. Sources close to the Sussexes paint a picture of absolute chaos behind those carefully manicured hedges and security gates. Late-night crisis meetings, frantic phone calls at odd hours, conflicting advice from advisors who don't know how to handle a situation this unprecedented. Harry pacing through rooms, unable to sit still, unable to focus on anything except the ticking time bomb of their titles. Meghan hunched over her laptop, researching precedent, reading every article, trying to find some angle, some strategy, some way to protect what they have. The veneer of their carefully curated California life is cracking under pressure. Insiders reveal that Meghan has been burning through her team trying to find answers. She's calling lawyers. She's reaching out to PR strategists. She's demanding someone tell her how to fix this, how to stop what's coming, how to maintain control of a narrative that's rapidly spinning out of her grasp. But here's the problem. Nobody has good answers. American lawyers can't help with British constitutional law. PR spin can't change the fact that William has the legal authority to strip titles whenever he wants. Hollywood connections mean nothing when you're dealing with a 1,000-year-old monarchy that doesn't care about celebrity opinions. Every expert Meghan consults gives her the same devastating feedback. There's no legal recourse. There's no appeals process. If the king decides your title is gone, it's gone. Harry, meanwhile, has reportedly been trying to reach contacts in the UK. Old friends, former aides, anyone who might still have his back. Anyone who might be able to give him insight into what's actually happening inside palace walls. But those calls aren't going well. Sources say most people aren't picking up. The few who do answer are polite but distant, offering vague reassurances that mean nothing. Nobody wants to be associated with the Sussexes right now. Nobody wants to be seen as taking sides against William. The isolation Harry feels is profound. He burned bridges when he left. He attacked people in his memoir. He aired private conversations for profit. And now when he needs allies the most, he's discovering just how alone he really is. The couple's advisors are apparently giving conflicting guidance. Some say stay quiet, don't give William more ammunition. Others suggest a preemptive PR move, getting ahead of the story, controlling the narrative before the palace does. A few have reportedly suggested the nuclear option. Renounce the titles voluntarily before they can be stripped. Frame it as their choice. Maintain some dignity in the process. But Meghan absolutely refuses to consider that. Give up the titles willingly? Surrender the one thing that gives them value in Hollywood? Not a chance. She'd rather go down fighting. But fighting requires weapons they don't have, influence they've lost, protection that vanished the moment they left, and the walls were closing in faster than they could process. Sarah Ferguson spent decades standing by Prince Andrew. Through scandal after scandal, through public humiliation, through accusations that would have sent most people running for the hills, Fergie stayed loyal. She defended him. She lived with him even after their divorce. She presented a united front to the world, insisting that their bond was unbreakable, that family loyalty meant everything. And then Andrew's title got stripped. Suddenly, insiders are whispering that Fergie is preparing to do the unthinkable, walk away, permanently. The woman who stood by him through absolutely everything is reportedly cracking under the pressure, terrified of becoming collateral damage, worried that her association with Andrew will destroy what's left of her own reputation and opportunities. Sources close to the situation claim Fergie is unraveling behind closed doors. She's shaking. She's having emotional breakdowns. She knows the public won't distinguish between Andrew's disgrace and her choice to remain by his side. She's already radioactive by association. Invitations have vanished. Charitable partnerships have quietly ended. Business conversations that seemed promising have stopped mid-sentence. People don't want the association. They don't want the stain. And Fergie, who has always been a survivor, who has always found ways to reinvent herself and stay relevant, is realizing that staying loyal to Andrew might cost her everything she has left. But here's what makes this relevant to Harry and Meghan. If Fergie, who spent 30+ years defending Andrew, who raised children with him, who maintained a relationship long after their marriage ended, is considering walking away now that the title is gone, that sends a chilling message about what titles actually mean in royal circles. It's not about love, it's not about loyalty, it's about status, it's about access. It's about what doors open and what opportunities exist when you're connected to royalty versus when you're just connected to a disgraced former royal. Strip the title, and even the most devoted supporters start reconsidering their positions. Palace insiders suggest that Harry is watching the Fergie situation very closely, and it's feeding his paranoia. If Andrew's longtime companion is preparing to abandon him now that he's just Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, what happens to Harry's circle when he becomes just Harry Mountbatten Windsor? Who sticks around when the Duke of Sussex title disappears? Meghan has always been accused of being calculating, of marrying Harry for status and access rather than love. Harry has publicly defended her against those accusations for years. But watching Fergie potentially walk away from Andrew is making Harry question things he never wanted to question. When the titles are gone, when the royal connection is severed, who actually stays? The Andrew and Fergie situation is basically a preview of what could happen to the Sussexes. The isolation, the abandonment, the realization that loyalty only extends as far as the benefits do. And it's a preview Harry and Meghan are watching with absolute dread, because they know their turn is coming next. The Andrew title strip wasn't just palace housekeeping, it was a declaration, a warning shot, a message sent directly to Montecito that the rules have fundamentally changed. Harry and Meghan can pretend they're safe across the ocean, can convince themselves that distance provides protection, can keep clinging to those Duke and Duchess titles like they're permanent fixtures, but the reality staring them in the face is unavoidable when William becomes king, and sources increasingly suggest that moment is approaching faster than anyone expected. Those titles are gone. Not maybe, not possibly, definitely. It's not a question of if anymore. It's only a question of when. King Charles, for all his faults, still harbors hope for reconciliation with Harry. He's a father who wants his son back, who believes time can heal wounds, who resists taking the most extreme steps because of sentimentality and love. But William? William is a strategist. He's a future monarch who understands that protecting the institution matters more than protecting feelings. He's already proven he's willing to strip titles from blood princes. He's already established the mechanism. He's already built the precedent. And every single person close to the Wales household confirms the same thing. Harry and Meghan are at the top of William's list the second he has the power to act. The transition is already happening. Charles is scaling back. William is taking on more responsibility. Advisors are quietly shifting their loyalty and attention to the future king rather than the current one. Constitutional experts are being consulted. Legal frameworks are being established. Everything is being put in place so that when William ascends, he can move quickly and decisively. No drawn-out drama, no public debates, just a letters patent published in the London Gazette, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex become Harry and Meghan Mountbatten Windsor. Two former royals living in California with a fading brand and diminishing relevance. Harry knows this is coming. Meghan knows this is coming. Their advisors know this is coming. But knowing and being able to stop it are two completely different things. They've burned too many bridges. They've made too many enemies. They've attacked the institution too publicly and too viciously to walk any of it back now. The Oprah interview can't be unaired. The Netflix series can't be unwatched. The memoir can't be unwritten. Every word, every accusation, every private detail Harry sold for profit is now ammunition William can use to justify stripping their titles. And the cruelest part, Harry handed him that ammunition willingly. The nightmare Harry and Meghan have been dreading, the scenario they've been trying to avoid, the loss they've been fighting against, it's inevitable now. The clock is ticking. William is preparing. And when that moment comes, when the announcement drops, when the titles officially disappear, Harry and Meghan will have to face the question they've been avoiding. Who are they without the royal connection? And will anyone still care? What do you think? Will William strip their titles? Drop your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is waiting, and you won't believe what's coming next.